Okay, burn_J13 asks, what are your thoughts on jiu-jitsu becoming less self-defense and more sport? And does that damage what jiu-jitsu is truly about? Yeah, I mean that's a tough question because I think martial arts people take martial arts for different reasons, and I think you can appreciate it for what it is, like taekwondo or wushu or kung fu. Sometimes not everyone's trying to do martial art for self-defense purpose. They just want to practice the art because they truly enjoy it and they think it's a very beautiful thing to practice. But in my opinion, I think jiu-jitsu, in my humble opinion, is the ultimate self-defense. And jiu-jitsu sport, you have to know how to separate it. I mean, if you want to do jiu-jitsu like for the sport, just to compete and just enjoy the art of it, it's totally fine. But I don't want people to get mixed up with sport jiu-jitsu and self-defense jiu-jitsu, because it's two different things. It has become two different things. Because I think back then, when UFC first started, like mixed martial arts started to get popular in America, I think the whole point of the UFC was to prove that jiu-jitsu was the ultimate self-defense art. And I still to this day, I think it is the ultimate self-defense. But I think it's becoming a little more watered down, and I think people are leaning towards the sport too much, and they're good at sport jiu-jitsu, as in like, for you people that don't know, when I say sport jiu-jitsu, I mean like pulling guard, upside down guard, turtle guard, like stuff I don't think you should try to attempt in a self-defense situation. It was pretty much bottom, okay? And I think back then, to me, if you're a jiu-jitsu world champion, to me that was like back then you were the best fighter in the world. Because back then, you know, in my humble opinion, that in Brazil they had jiu-jitsu tournaments to display who was the best fighter, because jiu-jitsu was supposed to be the ultimate martial art. And like now, back then, it was, if you hit the mount, it's to show how dominant and how much in trouble you were. You know, that, you know, you get 4 points, which is like the max point, and you take someone's back, you get the hooks in. It shows how much danger you're in and how much advantage you have on an opponent. And you pass someone's guard, you know, you get top position, you're in good shape, you know, of course. And like you get swept, you sweep the guy, you get on top, you know, you get points. These points is to show how much of a value each position, each pass, each sweep was worth. And now I think jiu-jitsu guys now, they play too much into the point system, and it's not so much in the self-defense anymore. There's too many tricks, and it's just too darn fancy, and it's not realistic anymore. And to me, to answer Mr. Burn_J13's question, I think sport jiu-jitsu now has kind of watered down jiu-jitsu. You know, and I don't want it to be like where it's taekwondo, we get like a 30-year-old black belt, where you cannot use jiu-jitsu in a self-defense anymore. I never teach any of my students in a self-defense situation to ever pull guard. Dear God, no, don't. And you shouldn't try to go on the bottom, try to play turtle guard, do anything on the bottom. In my humble opinion, you should try to take the guy down, get on top, and smash. Okay, well, that's my style, but that's my opinion. For self-defense, I think you always try to get on top. Well, and you know, for me, the reason why I started doing jiu-jitsu was because, you know, of course, I want to learn new art, new self-defense, and I thought jiu-jitsu was amazing. If I knew how to punch, it was a good puncher, a good striker, kicker. It didn't matter because I knew jiu-jitsu. I knew how to take the guy down, and if the guy got the guy on the floor, he was pretty much lost. So for me, learning jiu-jitsu was to improve my self-defense skills. You know, if I ever live alone outside with my family, I want to have the confidence to be able to know that, you know, I can take care of myself, I can protect my loved ones, or whatever. You know, nowadays, you know, I hear stories like black belts, you know, around the country, like black belts getting knocked out by average dudes. You know, I mean, like when I started training jiu-jitsu, I was a white belt, blue belt. Man, like I was an average guy, and to me, a blue belt, purple belt, man, those guys were like amazing. If you're a black belt, you're pretty much like God. You know, so an average guy should not even be able to touch you. And so nowadays, I think guys play too much into the sport. They train only sport, play so much bomb, play much sweep, and you know, when a self-defense situation approaches them, they don't know how to react. So my final thought about how jiu-jitsu is becoming less self-defense and more sport is it is what it is. You know, people do martial arts for different reasons. They do for self-defense reasons. They do for, you know, just for the art, the sake of liking it. You know, it's to each his own. My opinion on does the sport is actually damaging jiu-jitsu for what it was truly about, which I think is self-defense. I think yes, because you know jiu-jitsu should be, and I still think it's the ultimate form of defense, but I don't know anymore, you know, because now everyone's just playing too much into the sport, and you got black belts getting messed up by average dudes. So that's my opinion. Thank you very much for watching.